Hi, I'm Glenn Whipp with the Los Angeles Times. FX's Better Things, one of the best shows of this past television season. Joining us today, the creator, the writer, the director, the star, Pamela Adlon. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we were just talking about, this show came out in the fall. I mean, it feels like, we were just saying, 10,000 years ago almost.
I know.
But you were so I was reading interviews with you, anticipation of the show premiering, and you were so anxious for people to see it because you'd worked so hard on it. What was the reaction? Was it cool? Was it what you thought it would be?
Well, each step of the way was something that was so intimate and personal feeling. Like, I remember delivering my first cut to my network, FX, and I had a notes call with them at 3 o'clock that day, and I was in the office in the editing room, and by 2:30 that afternoon, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was on my knees in my office, and I was like, I don't think I can. I just was like, had so many emotions, and then to get positive feedback has been an incredible thing, and to have the kind of response that I've gotten was something that I never anticipated.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, because starting the show, right? Louie's encouraging you. John Landgraf wants a show on FX from a woman's point of view. Write it, and it took you a while to do that. And then it was like a while to even think that you could do it from your personal point of view, right?
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, I think it was probably a couple of years from Louie pitching me to John Landgraf to, finally Louie saying, we got to get going, buddy. We got to get started. But I was, doing my other jobs and raising my daughters. So.
And you were binge watching Breaking Bad.
That's right. That's exactly right. That kind of set me back.
Right.
That really
got in the way.
No, it was bad because I was trying to catch up before the series finale, and I was like, don't look at the internet, and then it got ruined for me anyway. But so I finished Breaking Bad, and then I started watching it, and then I started creating my own show. But it took me a while, and then just being able to craft that and get going. I always tell people, young people, when I'm trying to encourage them, that you have certain windows in your life, and you have to take advantage of it. You got to jump through because they will shut on you.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're good at encouraging young people?
Yes.
Because it feels like that happened a couple of times in the show this past season.
Yeah.
You giving advice to, people beyond your TV daughters.
Yeah, it's my kids are, I think they take it in, but they're not like, oh, tell me more, oh, wise mommy.
Right.
They don't give it really,
Yeah.
but their friends are, to be able to influence and be a positive role model to their friends, and then other young people that I meet. And just people, it doesn't have to be kids. I like to encourage people. I like to be inspirational. I like to let people learn from things that have happened to me.
It feels like the show, works as that inspiration, as that voice for kids, for that generation, for young girls, for single moms, and then for women, middle-aged women. I mean, you don't see that many. It's there,
I've gotten. It's amazing to do all of that stuff, but also the responses that I've gotten from men and boys who watch my show, and all the ages in between. Shooting this season, which I just finished, season 2. First week of work, my playback guy comes over and he says, I was raised by a single mom. This is really hitting home, close to home. Then one of my grips comes up to me and he said, that scene you did at the bar, he said, I'm a single dad and I'm raising my daughter. And I mean, I'm going to cry talking about it. You know, it's just about, I just want to go deeper into like feelings and things that happen and kind of show different sides to people who aren't necessarily savory.
Yeah.
And kind of, you know, feel not empathy, but just try to understand different people and things.
It's interesting, though, that it took you so long to be able to make that leap to do that kind of show, to have that, to use your own personal experiences, both as a mother and then going back as a child too, you know?
Yeah, it's
That's inspirational because a lot of people have that sort of feeling like, I've got nothing to say, I can't do that.
yeah, once I kind of got my head out of my ass about like, this is my show and I'm going to be, I started thinking it's not about that. It's about, you know, it's coming clearer to me all the time that it's about the experiences that I've had in my life. You know, as a person, as a young girl, as an actor, you know, it's, you know, I've always been like kind of a raconteur and a storyteller,
Yeah.
but I'm not a comedian, like a joke teller, you know? So this is kind of the perfect place for me. And I also have said that it's not, I don't think that I ever could have done this if I hadn't done it exactly when I did it.
Right.
It was
The
the
timing is
exact
perfect.
right moment.
Yeah, yeah. We have a lot of questions about the daughters. You know, you're a mother of 3 girls. There's 3 girls on the show. Mason West wants to know, on a scale of mirror image to loose inspiration, to what degree do your real life kids see themselves in Max, Frankie, and Duke?
Well, they're always like, Mom, I'm the Frankie. You know, my middle one. She thinks she's the Frankie. And they all take it very literally before, you know, the show had aired. And I feel like probably season 1, there's certain things that are more similar to my real life daughters than season 2, because once you hire an actor,
They're bringing their own stuff.
it's they're fleshing it out
Yeah.
in their own way. So there are things that are like my daughters and like their experiences, but there are more things that are like my experiences as a child and things like that, and then my experiences as a mom with the 3 dynamic.
Yeah. Is it true there were 2,000 submissions
Yeah, that's what
for those 3 parts?
Felicia Fasano, my casting director, told me.
How do you?
People
how
want
do
their
you
kids
do-
to act. I don't know.
And how do you winnow it down from?
That's
that?
Flea's job.
Yeah. But then.
I mean, like
so what did
literally
you see?
kitchen tape auditions.
Yeah.
They'd be like in like a disgusting kitchen, and then you'd hear a guy going, "Hey, Frankie," like being me, the mom, and everything. And I'd be like, "What's
That's
going
the voice
on in
they
that
use
house?"
for you. Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, but amazing. I mean, that's why casting directors are so amazingly important to the whole process, because she was able to like just,
Yeah.
you know, get to the marrow of these kids and find these 3 girls who each had something very special about them.
And your daughters had a vote though, in who was cast.
Yeah. They did. I showed them all the auditions, and they all picked their people.
And were their choices made? I mean, did they? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Or you're like, okay.
No, you know, my youngest daughter picked the Duke,
Yeah.
and they all kind of picked
Okay.
the ones that I felt were right. They
Yeah.
agreed.
That's really cool because I would think the danger as you're doing this is your kids feeling like you're co-opting their lives into your show. You know.
That's a concern of mine, and that's the term that I use. Like, I don't want my kids and my friends in my life to feel that I'm I'm doing that. But then at the end of the day, it's like, you know, what Nora Ephron said, everything
I
is
know.
copy.
I know. How do you resist, right? Well,
You
your
can't.
mom lives next door to you.
Yes, she does.
I understand that you could just like do 10 episodes of her. I mean, like you could go over to her house, write stuff down, and then you'd have a season.
I could literally like have a locked season of 10 episodes and walk into her house tonight and throw away everything that I have written and just be like, we're doing what you just said to me 5 minutes ago.
Has she always been like that? I mean, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where you get your own sort of? I mean, I don't.
I think so.
But you say raconteur. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I think my mom is, you know, she's like, she, just all these things that used to drive me crazy about my mom. Now she's gotten a little bit more cantankerous and feisty because she turns to me and she says, "You love it because it's material for you." So I'm screwed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's on to you.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. I guess, you know, as a parent myself of teenagers, what I loved from the first season was just, and especially like the last episode, I think you used that Laurie Anderson song so well in that episode. We were just showing just.
Can you believe she gave me that song? I mean, for like nothing, you know, and
Yeah.
it kills me. Like I hope you've seen it. I gotta send it to her because it means everything to me. In that sequence, it's like a ballet, and that song just makes it so haunting and incredible. Music's a huge part of my life and my daughter's lives, and you know, our music references and catalogs is all over the place. So
Yeah.
I wanted to share that with people.
So what were you trying to get across with that sequence?
You know, I would write stuff in scenes, and I called that scene Morning Rush. And that's a great example of how mornings usually would go at my house. And, you know, trying to get the kids out the door, and then somebody's sick, and then other kids are coming
I like
over.
how you do the.
Sick.
Yes.
And trying to get the food ready, and you know, the guy who comes for me to sign checks, and then the housekeeper who comes for 5 minutes sick, really sick, and I'm like,
No
get
kidding.
out of my house! I don't want it. And so I never thought I would ever produce or create that scene
Yeah.
for television. It's
Yeah.
kind of amazing.
But it
I-
gets across what I think gets across in other episodes too, just the crushing, you know,
Relentlessness.
The relentlessness. It never stops. The work of being a parent.
Yep.
And then, sort of how the rewards sometimes are just a mirage.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
true, because that whole, you know, because during that sequence, like I pull up my shirt and I take a picture of my bra and this and that, and there's an opportunity for me to do something with this person on the phone, and at the end of the day, I just put the phone down and I just go back up to bed.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Just the quiet
Yeah.
comes in, and you're like, oh, I don't want to do anything with anybody right now. I
Right.
just want to go to bed.
Right. But then there's a hopefulness, I think, to your show too, in that you do show the rewards.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like you show them in a way that where you can see your character appreciating them, you know? Because I think that's what, as a parent, you do. Is like, okay, well, this is a good moment. Let me bathe in this for a while, you know? Let me just remember this so I can get through the next week of laundry and stuff.
Well, it's massively important because it's like when you know, in the scene where I'm watching my daughter do ballet, and you know, it makes me emotional because my kids are all older now, you know. So anyway, she's, you know, when I'm smiling at her, you know, it's because she's smiling at me, and she's sharing that moment with me. And so it's so hard, one, when you're a parent to share those pure moments
Right.
with your kids. Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
You want me to ask
Oh my God. Are you
Like
Barbara Walters? What happened?
I'm going to ask like a random question from a reader
I
now.
have a tissue. I'm Jewish. I carry tissues. Okay.
Because I used the word bathe in the moment. We have a question about
Okay.
real life bath. Do you know where I'm going with this? Who,
When I
J.
took-
May.
Took a bath with Louie.
Sexual advance toward Louie. Do you want to take a bath? Who wrote that? Why a bath? Please
Okay.
answer.
Now the tears have dried up. That's a
See,
good.
I knew that could.
That was a good one. Okay, so I was in my bathroom in LA, and I had gone downstairs and I came upstairs. And do you ever do that? You're filling the tub and you're
Right.
like, I'm totally going to remember. And you're like, holy. And the water was flowing out, and I turned it off. And it made me think about the show, Louie.
Yeah.
And when he was like, when I said to him, so do you want to take a bath or whatever? And he was like, no, I'm leaving, because he was being butt hurt because I didn't love him back or whatever. So I called him up, and he lives in New York, and I said, oh my God, I know what we have to do. And he said, what? And I said, we have to take a bath together. We have to get in the bath. Like, people are owed this. We owe the world.
And did he immediately
Louie and
agree?
Pamela to take a bath.
Yeah.
And I said, but the thing is that you get in and all the water comes out.
Right.
That was the vision. So, and it turned out to be very touching, beautiful, amazing
Yeah.
scene, but that's what it was born from.
From your own bath overflowing.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, now we've gotten to the bottom of that. I read somewhere where you and, you've written a lot with Louie, that you guys wrote a movie together too.
Oh my God, where is that? It's true.
Where is that movie?
It's true.
Is it in a drawer somewhere? Is it
yeah,
good?
it's in a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never finished it, but we have a huge amount of movie that we wrote. We also wrote a pilot together after Lucky Louie that we tried to sell and rejected, but
So the movie's in somebody's computer.
we got to look at that
Yeah.
one of these days.
I'm glad I reminded you.
I know, thanks.
What about season 2? You say you just finished it.
I'm editing it.
I mean,
now.
people are like freaking out. I read a couple of people saying, "Oh, you're directing all 10 episodes." I mean, it's not like you weren't like super like hyper involved
Yeah.
in season 1. I mean, this isn't that big of a leap for you to do all 10, right?
No, it just the pace was crazy because I had 39 days to shoot 10 episodes. So we were what's called
39 days? That's insane.
I know.
Wow. Sorry.
I'd like more days.
It's just like computed in my head. I was like,
Yeah.
that's 5 hours.
And all on location. All on location.
Yeah, you have
and
a lot of location stuff.
we did it. It's called crossboarding. So we're shooting like pieces of different episodes. So we could shoot like pieces of 4 episodes in a day. We'd sometimes shoot 10 pages a day, and it seems daunting, but for me, it simplified everything, because everything was flowing through me, and you don't have to wait for a response. You don't have to wait for 10 people to get in a room or this or that. And it was actually exhilarating, exhausting and exhilarating.
Was it, when did you start writing?
We started writing, Louie and I started writing this season in October.
So you wrote it again with him? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So just kind of writing scenes like you did for season 1, or was it more together?
Yeah, we, because I went to New York after I was done editing, and I directed some plays for a theater company called Animus, Teresa Rebick's plays. And so I was in New York for about 3.5 weeks, and we were able to get actual FaceTime and start writing together. And the way we did it this season was kind of a revelation to us, because we would just talk out our, ideas and story points and things into the iPhone, and then his assistant Leah, she
Transcribed it.
thank you.
I'm here for you.
She transcribed
Yeah.
everything for us, and it was massive. Thank you, Leah. Leah Cohen. We would have these pages and pages of the stuff, because we would go on to these threads that were very complicated, and we'd forget how we started, and then we could refer to it, and it was just an amazing thing. And so I would recommend that to anybody who, is trying to write something. Talk it out. Talk it
Yeah.
out. Sit down with a friend that you can throw ideas around with, and then you'll have something concrete. It was kind of a big deal for us.
Was it easier writing this season because you had a hold on the characters now, and you could kind of go in and explore them?
It was really, it was fun
Yeah.
to say, I'm inspired by this guy. He was weird and interesting, and I want to go inside his brain, or explore more things like with the girls, like where they are developmentally and things like that.
Do you get more into the Frankie character in terms of, because it seems like, last episode, there's like a range of kind of possibilities for her as she's looking for herself, her identity. But I love the way you did that through the whole 10 episodes. It wasn't like, it was just kind of threaded in there.
Yeah.
It wasn't a very special episode of Better Things.
No, and I'm not really interested in doing it that way, because life isn't clean like that,
Right.
So in the finale, when we're in the van together, and the Alice Cooper song "Only Women Bleed" and we're singing it, there's actually another person in the car. It's Harvey, the kid that I dressed down in the laundry room. I threw him in the car because I thought, well, that's the way life is. Like, wouldn't it be a nice tableau if it was just Sam and her daughters on the highway singing "Only Women Bleed"? It's never clean like that.
Right.
Sam has to deal with that in the back seat too, but they're all singing "Only Women Bleed."
Yeah. And that's, you're trying to keep it true to life. Yeah. Guy, there's so many other things I could go with here. We have our Instagram questions. I don't know. Well, see, I'm just going to read this because Carrie was asking, will season 2 pick up right after season 1 finale, Only Women Bleed? It's like, we anticipated this. That Frankie story was so good. It was.
Awesome.
Was there a biggest challenge writing, directing, performing? Did we get into that just now?
This season, there were many challenges. I would say I actually put a whole bar mitzvah up.
Sounds like fun.
They had allotted it for a day and a half to 2 days. We finished it in 1 day, and I directed in 6-inch heels, leather pants, a silk shirt, and a sequined blazer, an entire bar mitzvah in 1 day. That was pretty challenging.
Yeah.
Also, we were shooting in Canada on the bay at low tide, and my first AD is like in her pants. She's like, "Okay, guys, we have one more," and we had to be rescued off of the sandbar because the tide came in so quickly.
Will we see any of a little glimpse of that maybe in the, you know how Louie would have like the outtakes at the back of the
I
back
know.
end? You should put that in.
I should do something like that.
Yeah. Like if him how he would shoot some particular scene, and you'd see the camera guy in there or something. You need to put that in.
Yeah, that'd
Yeah,
be fun.
anyway.
I'll get to that.
Is it coming back in September?
Yes.
Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We do these lightning round questions. We've been
Okay.
asking everybody. And I don't know that you've had a chance to binge watch any TV shows. But what is the last TV show you binge watched? We mentioned Breaking Bad earlier.
Mr. Robot.
Okay.
And Girls.
Okay.
But I don't binge it. Like, I watch it when I can, like,
Yeah.
in between. But the last show that I saw was Girls, which I adored.
Yeah. If you could go back and be on any classic TV show, what would it be?
Oh, my God. The Waltons.
One of the kids on Walton Mountain. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be on the Waltons.
Was that a show you watched when you were growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Made me feel
I don't want to
safe.
make you cry again.
I know, I'm not. I'm fine. I'm totally fine.
What was your first? Because you've been acting since you were a kid. What was
Yeah.
your first acting job?
God. My first movie was Grease 2.
That's right. I read that and I want to go back and watch it now. What would I see? What were you in Grease 2?
Dolores Rebchuk,
Yeah.
ponytails, skateboard.
Yeah.
Yep.
How old were you?
I was 14 or
Yeah.
15. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And what lesson did you learn from Dolores from playing that you carried over into your career?
That I wanted to be a grown up. I wanted to, I just was like, I was so young and everybody was like a lot older than me, and I just wanted to hang out with everybody and
Yeah.
yeah, drive a car and stuff.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in today. It's
Thank
been
you.
great talking to you.
You too.
Really looking forward to season 2.
Thank you so much.
September. All right. For more of these conversations, please go to latimes.com. Thanks for watching.